I mean, Satan doesn't have to do much in that area when it comes to condemnation. Seems like I can do a pretty good job of it myself. And man, I was doing it to me. And so while I was there, I was trying to play the tourist and having a hard time at it. And anyway, here I was, coming into Maine, the state of Maine. And I thought, well, I'm going to stop at the Welcome Center. And oh, they had a nice big building, 2 stories, and all kinds of paraphernalia concerning Maine. And I'm looking and reading, and there's quite a number of people in there. It's a big facility. And all of a sudden, the guy comes through that front door, and he says, hey, who's the guy with the blue motorcycle out here? Oh, my, I thought, what happened? Someone hit it? And, well, no. He says, are you going to the rally? I says, rally? What rally are you talking about? I mean, here, he's on the first floor, I'm on the second floor, and there's other people there, and they're listening what's going on. Yeah, he says, there's a rally up this way in Nova Scotia. I says, Nova Scotia? Where's that? And, well, then he began to explain to me where Nova Scotia was. And, yeah, he says there's a big rally going on there this year, and it's the biggest one in Canada, and you need to go to that rally. He says, I've been going there for 3 years. I'm pre-registered to go there. He says, I'm from Michigan. I'm going there. You ought to go. I says, well, how's the best way to go? Well, he told me the best way is go around, go here to Bar Harbor, go through Arcadia National Park and see that national park. But at Bar Harbor, there's a ferry that'll take you from Bar Harbor to Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. And, well, he told me even when it runs. He says the boats run this such and such a night, and this is what it costs, and yeah, they'll strap your bike down and everything on that ferry. Well, man, I thought, I never went Nova Scotia before. Never did that. I thought, well, and there's a rally. I didn't have nothing to do that weekend. And I says, well, yeah, it sounds like a place for me to go. And so that's what I did. I continued on and headed toward the ferry location there, and got the bike on board, and I was a few days before the rally, and I told the guy that I'll probably see him at the rally. I was going to do a little touring in Nova Scotia, you know, before I got to the rally, because it wasn't going to start right away. And so I got to Nova Scotia, and I did do some touring. I went around that whole particular province of Canada and came back into where they were going to have the rally site, and it was called it was put on by the Apple Valley Riders, and it was called the Blue Nose Rally, and it was named after the famous ship there in Nova Scotia. And anyway, I was heading up toward the rally, and I couldn't believe it. The people, the organizers of the event, they came out and, oh, they'd welcomed me. And some of them were BMW riders. And, oh, he says, I can't believe you'd come to our rally. I'd seen you at rallies all over the United States, and I never thought I'd see you at our rally. Come to our rally. We want you to be a part. And they says, would you be willing to do a worship service here? Well, I says, well, if it wouldn't be too much trouble. And they says, no, we'd love for you to come and to do a worship service. I says, great, I'd like to. Let me set up camp here, and I'll find out more as the weekend progresses as to what you want me to do and where to go and all this and that. And so I set up my camp, and I'm looking around. I'm here all by myself. Man, I'm in a different country. They don't even have dollar bills there. They got this other money, and man, the entertainment, it's not banjo or bluegrass. It's these bagpipes. I mean, you don't normally hear bagpipes here at the CMA rally in Arkansas, but man, up there, it's a common thing. But even a little bit more unusual, the guys playing the bagpipes, they got some skirts. And it wouldn't sound good this day and age, but back in 1980, it wasn't a bad thing. But anyway, while there, well, I didn't know what to do. Well, here I saw a guy come in off the road. Man, he had his bike all heaped up. That was before they had saddlebags and all that. Man, bungee cords used to be the way of things. And if you had a way to bungee something more on, that's how people used to do it. And I saw this guy come in, and he just about dumped he was having to hold his bike because it was even going to dump past the kickstand. And so I went over there and I helped him, and I said, man, you need some help unloading this thing. And so we unloaded his bike there, and I said, let me help you set up your tent. Oh, he says, you don't have to. Oh, I says, I got nothing to do. Let me help you. And so I decided I'm going to help him set up his tent. And so I helped him set up his tent, and, oh, man, he was fit to go. He was all set and ready, and still not knowing what to do here at the rally. I walked around, and, well, having a Moto Guzzi, I kind of had an eye for Moto Guzzis, and, well, I noticed one over there, and I saw the guy fiddling and fooling with it, and I thought, well, I wonder what's the problem. So I walked up there to that guy and his Moto Guzzi, and I found out that he had broken a clutch cable. And he says he's been just trying to park it on that high spot of the rally so that when he had to go somewhere, he could easily, you know, bump start it. I mean, this is back before you really trusted the electric starts. I mean, it's a long time ago. And so I says, well, hey, I says, I got a spare clutch cable in my camp. Let me get it for you. He says, you carry a spare clutch cable? I says, yeah. I says, I travel all over. If I don't have spare stuff, man, I'll just get stuck. I says, let me get that thing for you. So I went to my campsite and dug around in my saddlebag, and sure enough, there's my spare clutch cable, and presented it to him. And he wanted to pay me. Well, I says, man, I've been carrying that thing in my saddlebag. It had even worn a hole through the covering of that brand new clutch cable. I had it in there so long. Riding around in my saddlebag, and I said, why don't you just keep it? And, oh, man, he says, he thanked me so for that. And so the ride was about to happen, and they had like a poker run or something that was touring the area. And I thought, well, I'm going to go where the people are. I don't know what else to do. They seem to all be going to that ride. So I went on that ride, and we didn't get very far into the poker run. And here there was a bike on the side of the road. And I thought, what in the world? I wonder what the matter is here. So I pulled over, and I asked the guy, is something the matter? He says, yeah, got a flat tire. Oh, bummer, I said. But, hey, I got a spare tube here in my saddlebag, and we could change this thing. Well, he says, I don't have no tools. I says, no problem. I says, I got tools here too. Tire tools too. Oh, and he was kind of negative. He says, well, we don't have anything to blow it up with. I says, I got a compressor right here. I carry with me. Plug in a cigarette lighter. Oh, man, he couldn't believe it. And so I get in there, and I'm starting a wrench, and he had it was some sort of a chain-driven bike. I mean, some sort of rice burner of sorts. Man, I got oil all over. I mean, it was worse than diesel, you know. And anyway, I was through with this, and I had hand cleaner and paper towels and everything, and kind of cleaned up too, and got that guy back in working order. But I think we were too late to finish the poker run. I can't recollect at this point, but as it was, ended up back at the rally, and then I had gone to the promoter and overseer, the president of the club, because I saw the awards that they were giving. They were outstanding. The most prestigious. I mean, it was a ship, a huge ship, sailboat ship entitled the Blue Nose. And it was outstanding to be able to get those. They were the best trophies I'd ever seen at a motorcycle rally. And of course, deep down, boy, I wanted one. But I realized what happened last week. I thought, I'm not going to trip people up over a lousy plastic trophy. And so I gulped on it after looking at them trophies and went up to the promoter, and I said, I realize I'm here from a far ways, and I said I'd be eligible for a lot of these trophies, but I said I really don't feel comfortable accepting these trophies. And I said I would like to make myself ineligible to receive these trophies. I said, they're outstanding. I said, nothing wrong about them, but I says, it's just between me and the Lord. I says, if you would accept that, I'd rather not get a trophy. Well, he says, we'd really want you to have a trophy if you're eligible for it. Well, I says, no, I better not. Better not. Well, he honored that, and then it was come time for the services, and unbelievable with the turnout that was there and the reception that there was toward the gospel. Nothing on my own. I didn't do nothing to present that, to have that, nor for people to be saved, as there were many, and people to rededicate their life. I was even asked to speak at a local church while I was there. I mean, just neat things opening up. And then the last thing, they were going to give the awards out. And they presented the awards for the couple and the single person, and, you know, all the different awards that go on there at a motorcycle rally. And when he was all through, he says, that concludes all of the awards presentations, except there is one thing more, he said. He said, we have a man here at this rally. He came to this rally. He helped people set up their tents. There was a man who had a broken clutch cable, and he gave him his spare clutch cable. And during the poker event, he canceled himself out by not finishing the run because there was a biker broke down who had a flat tire, and he had a spare tube and all the parts to get him fixed. And this man came to me telling me he wanted to be ineligible for any of our trophies because he said he wanted God's trophy rather than man's trophy. And he felt that it was better to get God's rather than anyone else's. And he said, I just cannot let this go by without recognizing him. And he made something. He said, I made a little trophy. It's not a store-bought one, but it's something I made. I want to give to him, and I am calling it the Good Samaritan Award. And he called my name. Would you please come up and receive this award? He said, I know you didn't want to get any trophies, but this is God's trophy. And you wanted God's trophy. And I am presenting you with God's trophy, the Good Samaritan Award. And it was a thrilling thing to hear secular folks at a secular rally recognizing and seeing the work of God's Spirit, and how God's Spirit opened up those avenues for ministry. All I did was take the next step. I am the one that took the step to go to that rally. Well, actually not to that rally, but in that geographical area. And as I was going in that geographical area, my steps were redirected. And it come to my mind. I says, oh, I forgot one thing. I got to go back and thank that guy who directed me to go to that rally. Oh, so I went over there to registration. The rally was ending. People were packing up their books. And I stopped the person. I says, can you tell me where can I find so-and-so's camp? And, she says, wait a minute, let me look in my book. I'll tell you in a minute. And I mentioned the guy's name. And She says, well, I'm not seeing his name right offhand. Oh, I says, yeah, he's here. He's being in the pre-registration column. He comes here every year. He told me he's been here the last 3 years.